And then the last storyline coming out
No,
today,
that's my contribution. No.
DeAndre Hunter, AJ Griffin, and draft compensation has been offered in recent days by the Atlanta Hawks for Pascal Siakam, who has made it known to teams that he wants to stay in Toronto, which has really halted trade talks. I know there's offers out there that are being explored, but the Raptors keep upping every offer, as they should, that comes in from teams. And I think it's going to be unlikely that Siakam moves. Um, I don't hate a trade package centered around Hunter and Griffin,
Mm.
but the Atlanta draft compensation doesn't necessarily interest me with the new coach, Young and Murray being still pretty young, and Siakam also just being in the prime of his career currently. Like it's a team that just feels like they're gonna sit middle of the playoff picture in the East for the next couple of seasons. And so I don't know if you want to bet on that if you're trying to get first round picks.
And I don't even know that they're offering first round picks. I saw it
Yeah.
pointed out around NBA Reddit that this story is almost definitely an Atlanta leak to try and pressure the Raptors. And that with that knowledge, the fact that they're saying draft compensation and not two first round picks, three first round picks, tells you that the draft compensation in question is a little lacking. I also saw it pointed out there, and I agree with this, that I don't know that DeAndre Hunter is a positive asset. Like I think the pros and cons make it pretty unclear on if you're actually getting value on that return or you're actually doing the Hawks a favor in taking that contract off their hands. And with such a murky player like AJ Griffin is great. He made us look silly last year for about 5 seconds, but Pascal Siakam has made defenses look silly for the better part of the last 3, 4 years. And that is just different ballparks and different stratospheres of value. And as I've said at other times, like I think it's really good when you have a superstar who wants to stay long term in your city, especially when you're the only Canadian team on the market and taxes and Canadian to US dollar exchange rate is a constant barrier to maintaining superstars. Um, so there's nothing enticing to me about this offer. And I'm not saying never on a Siakam trade. Everyone has their price, but this one doesn't even begin to scratch at it for me.
Yeah, you look at what happened with the Van Vliet situation, and is it worth it to move him at some point just so
Well,
you get value?
I see it as differently. I was not surprised when Van Fleet left. If Pascal Siakam signs a contract that's not with the Toronto Raptors, he's a snake after what he said. And unless he can honestly and authentically show that he was working towards a deal and it's like some other team was just willing to give him more years, more value than the Raptors are willing, he's a snake if he walks for less than that.
Sure, but
And
that's a possibility.
it is,
And
but I don't see it. And I think Van Fleet was in a different situation. It was very clear Van Fleet wanted his bag. And
yeah,
that's all this was about. I think Siakam's comments about wanting to stay in Toronto on their own make it a different dynamic.
we shall see what rumors continue to trickle through, and I'm sure we will touch on it more as we head into September.